Handley, the JetSetting Fashionista, and I'm so excited to be here with you tonight, sharing some wines from my pals at Maker Wines. I'm going to give them a moment for Kendra and Sarah to join, and we will be drinking some delicious wines tonight. For those of you not familiar with Maker Wines, they're going to tell you their story, so I don't want to tell you too much, but it's a fabulous brand that I met a couple years ago. I actually met them at the Assembly, which was this awesome female membership organization I belong to in San Francisco. Unfortunately, the Assembly closed during COVID, so it's with sad news that I report that, but it is really exciting, all of the very fabulous people I met through the Assembly, including Kendra and Sarah. I think that was like one of their very, very first events, and I'll show you the cans as we wait for them to join. But anyway, yes, so these are Maker Wines, and I mean, as if the packaging isn't cute enough, wait till you meet these ladies. They're awesome. Speaking of which, let me get them to join. Okay, well, they're not here yet, but they will be here. So the three wines that we picked tonight are actually very special as well, because I know two of the three winemakers and I know them pretty well. So we will be starting off with the Pinot Gris, which is from Handley Cellars. I'm actually going to be at Handley Saturday for Pinot Fest. Oh, they're here to join us, so give me 1 second. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going. Oh, hi, guys.
Hey, Emily. Hey, Emily.
Good evening. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Has anyone told you guys sort of look like sisters?
Yeah, we've heard that.
Okay, I know, especially today, the long blonde hair. I feel like, yeah, I never noticed that, but you really do.
Oh, yeah. Well, I take that as a compliment, so thank you.
Yeah, well, you guys
so
are both babes. I know, it's been a while. I was actually just telling the audience how we met at the Assembly. When was that? Was that like 2.5 years ago?
I believe it was the holiday bazaar in December of 19, so almost 2 years ago. Wow.
And
good memory.
Our first ever event, and right after we had our first few wines canned. So you were really one of the first people to try the wines and love it and take a chance on us. So thanks.
Yeah, no, I know. It was fun. You guys were in the lower level kitchen and you had the beautiful packaging, and I was talking to you guys and Insta-storying, and then sort of the rest is history. I remember we like met and had a powwow and brainstormed, and you guys have just taken it and run with it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
So speaking of female founders, I want to do another shout out. If you guys want to hear, obviously you're going to learn a lot tonight from these ladies, but I've also interviewed them, and that is on the blog on JetSetting Fashionista. And I also added a founder series to Emily Martin Events website. So you guys are on both websites, as if one isn't enough.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so those of you guys at home, I really love to support other female founders. Come on, girls rule, boys drool, as my nephew or my nieces would say. And yeah, it's really exciting to sort of watch the evolution and be here tonight with you.
Yeah, and female winemakers. We're really excited to taste some amazing wines by women in wine tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So I did a little sneak peek as I was waiting for you guys to join. I gave the audience a little bit of a teaser about talking about our first wine, but I didn't want to, jump the gun. So do you guys want to share your story first? Like tell everybody about Makers, and then we can, dive into the three wines that we're going to be tasting tonight?
Sure. I can give a little bit of a quick background. So as you'll, find out tonight, we highlight different winemakers through these single serving cans. Each wine is a different maker, a different story, a different region that we're passionate about. Kendra and I did not come from the wine industry. We're not sommeliers. We're not winemakers. We're just regular wine lovers, probably like many of you. We met in business school and really were connected by this passion to visit small producers in Northern California, learn their stories, what they're about. And in shopping for wine, we found it really difficult to support those same small producers and to really find their products on shelves. So
right.
We really decided to build a company that would support these small producers, tell their stories, provide a distribution channel for them, because often it's hard for them to get to, mass retail distribution. And then on the customer side, provide amazing wine in a really approachable way, but still really great quality product, and teach people about these amazing makers that we've met.
Yeah. And I mean, as someone that tastes a lot of wine and meets a lot of winemakers, I feel the same way. I love to highlight as many of the little guys as possible. Not saying big brands don't do great things, but it's just different. And I think as more of the little guys get gobbled up by the bigger brands, there's less of the little guys. So it's really important to give those little family-owned brands support. And that's, I mean, it's just funny because two of these three brands I was already huge fans of before, and now I'm excited. You know, I fell in love with your rosé that we're going to be trying tonight. From Sarah Winery, which I'm not familiar with. So it's sort of fun getting, you know, learning about new brands from you guys, and then also seeing some of my oldie and goodie friends getting highlighted by you. It's the best of both worlds.
It is. And I think that's what Maker is all about, right? Discovering new producers, connecting with people you love, and hopefully always knowing that you're getting, you know, some really great craft small batch wine out of cans.
I'll never forget when I had the Sutro. So Alice Sutro is a friend and a client. I work with her on some stuff as well, and she's fabulous. And I had your Sutro wine in a can. I was watching TV. I mean, everybody that follows me knows, you know, I enjoy a lot of good wines in the evening when I'm relaxing at home. And I texted you guys, or I emailed you, and I'm like, it actually tastes like it tastes in the bottle. And that's not always the case with canned wine. I mean, I think people that drink canned wine know, I mean, not that you got to take it with a grain of salt, but like if you put a wine in cans, it's going to age differently than in a bottle. So it's, you know, it's not something you're going to buy and sit on for 6 years and be like, ooh, isn't it delicious? It's aged. That's not what the point of canned wines is. But I just think the fact that Sutro wine tasted just as delicious in the can is very impressive. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't feel that way. So kudos to however you guys made that happen, and Alice and her fabulous, talented, beautiful wines.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll come back to the Sutro Cab, of course, in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, that was one of the biggest surprises. It's not just, you know, high-end craft premium wines that people want out of a can. It's also red wines, sparkling wines, you know, all kinds of wines. And so to wrap up Sarah's amazing story about our company, we actually started launching, you know, last, I guess 2 Decembers ago, but really a year and change. And so it's all been about us, you know, finding connection with people during the pandemic and virtually. And you know that last year we launched with 6 different wines and 5 winemaker partners. And this year we're really proud to be bringing on a few new winemaker partners. And so Nicole Walsh and Sarah is one of them as well. So
awesome.
I wanted to highlight all of that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually had the privilege, thanks for the invite, of joining you guys for Valentine's Day. And that was super fun. We did a couple winemakers there and baked cookies. It was like the perfect little, like, you know, baking and drinking wine and hanging out with you guys. So you guys have done a lot of cool things during COVID.
Thank you. Also, I just saw Matt Hughes was on the chat there. I want to call him out as one of the winemaker partners we've worked with too. Hey, Matt.
I was going to say, we have a really active, engaged person. Matt, please stay on. Want to hear all your thoughts. Love you. I don't know if I've had Matt's wines, but I'm going to have to try that next.
He's the winemaker at Campo Vita, one of our, you know, highest rated winemakers.
Awesome.
So it's awesome to have the support.
I've been there. I don't think I've had his wines. I visited the event space. Matt, you're on my to-do list. Cool. Well, should we kick it off and start with one of the wines?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so I thought it would be fun to pour together. I don't know. I just think that
Okay,
half of what I love about, I mean, the wine is obviously part of it, but I love your packaging. I love your branding. So I wanted everybody to just see how stinking cute they are. And I kept one of my 6-packs handy to show it. So when they come, this is what it looks like. All the labels are facing perfectly. I messed them up. And the thing that's really cool that I think is people can customize their 6-packs, right?
Exactly. So you can mix and match and pick your favorite wines.
Hello. Obviously, I got a cab. I got it. Well, normally I would get the Handley Pinot Noir because we all know I'm a Pinot Noir fanatic. But right now, the Pinot Gris out, which is fun because I probably wouldn't have tried that if that wasn't, you know, your newest thing with them. So thank you guys for shaking things up with me.
Absolutely. Should we dive into this wine?
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
Ready? Oh, sorry. Should I drink out of the can or the glass?
I recommend drinking out of a glass because
okay.
the wine, you get the full aromatic performance, all of the flavors. But if you don't have a glass and you're at home, you can drink it out of a can. You do you either way.
Okay. You do you. Yeah. I mean, I have taken this like glamping and all that stuff, and then I drink out of the can and it's perfect.
Awesome. I want to give everyone just a quick kind of orientation to the can. So if you are watching on the live, each of our cans is made by a different small producer. So this one is from the Handley team. And you see Lulu Handley, who's the owner and proprietor up at Handley Cellars, has her actually name and signature on the front. This is a design that we did for Handley, representing kind of the topography of Anderson Valley. And then on the back, we have a short form story about the maker. This Pinot Gris is actually our newest wine with the Handley team. We just canned it about 6 weeks ago. And
Wow.
It is phenomenal. It is aromatic, nice acidity, really easygoing, very versatile wine for pairing. And so this is like quickly becoming our kind of new go-to wine to wrap up the workday.
After during work wine.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the thing about Handley that's really cool, I've probably been there, I don't know, a dozen times, and I'm going Saturday during Pinot Fest. Like you said, her mother started it and now she's running it, and their winemaker Randy's been there as long as I've known Handley. So it really is a family gem, and it's just incredible.
Icons for women in wine. On the back of the can, we have Viva la Matriarchy, which, as you just mentioned, is a nod to the multi-generational women in wine that has been passed along and really kind of putting Anderson Valley, on the map. So first it was Mila Handley, who started Handley Cellars in the early 80s, and then now Lulu and their lead winemaker Randy Schock, and the entire team is outstanding. If you have the opportunity to visit, Emily, I'm so jealous you're going to Pinot Fest.
And I was there like a month ago on my way up to Mendocino. I've gotten Handley twice in like a month. I'm a lucky girl.
Jealous. It's a magical place.
Yeah. Well, I'll make sure to have a little hell of a Pinot and think of you. That's one of my favorite Pinots from them. Okay, well, let's sip away. It smells amazing. I would like to just sort of share what we're smelling for those at home that might not have it but are curious. Guava, I love that. So some of these descriptors are not in my WSET tasting card, so I'm like going off the rails.
Love it.
Yeah, it's very light and drinkable. This could definitely be a summer fave.
Yeah, and Randy mentioned he really wanted the wine to go well with food, but also be amazing on its own. I definitely love the like tropical notes I get on this.
Yeah, and there's definitely like a little bit of like, well, obviously stone fruit, some minerality, some wet flint. It sort of smells, I love that word. I don't want to say greasy, but what's the word they always use for Gewürztraminer? Oh my God. Anyway, it's got that like wet texture to it.
It does, like a little bit of like the oily.
Oily, that's the word.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So what do you guys, I want to also show off your adorable postcards that come in here. So first of all, you guys, your handwritten notes. I'm such a sucker for handwritten notes. And then second of all, I love that
Shout out to our fulfillment manager, Cicely, who writes everyone's notes.
Oh, well, thanks, Cicely.
Yeah.
She has great handwriting. Mine is not that legible. And then there's can care. I know it's backwards, guys, but I just want to it says store cool and dry, drink fresh, serve chilled, pour in a glass. It's just cute, little like how-tos for people that maybe have never had canned wine. And then each of the cans has a little postcard that matches the bottle, or the can, I should say. And then we've got a picture of Lulu on the back and sort of some fun facts.
Yeah, definitely. And we like to put in little Easter eggs there. One kind of fun fact about this wine, if you look on the bottom of the can, we have like a little stamp or message. And this one says golden sundrops. And that's actually what Randy said, he refers to this wine as. And really referring to both the flavors of the wine and how bright and beautiful it is. But Lulu's new son, Golden, is...
Oh, I met him when I was there.
Yeah, the next generation of the Handley family. And so sort of this homage to him and the family, and just, shifting between generations. And so it's really special to have a little piece of, what makes the wine special to the winemaker on there.
Yeah, and this card answered my next question. I was going to say, what do you guys like to pair it with? But hey, it tells me right here, aged Gouda, lemon chicken, mac and cheese.
Yeah, definitely anything like just rich that this can cut right through, I think is a really beautiful pairing.
And I love to think about too, like a picnic or some barbecue, maybe veggies off the grill. Like this wine can, you know, stand up to something like a little spice or a little bit of char. So
Yeah,
really versatile for pairing.
it's really nice. And then, so are each of the wines priced the same? How does the pricing work?
Yeah, so the wines are each priced differently, and it entirely depends on the winemaker that it comes from and really the unique cost structure for that wine, depending on, you know, how the grapes are grown, how they're picked, fermentation, any barrel aging. Of course, you know that there's a variable cost structure in wine. So we work really closely with our winemaker partners to make sure that it is, you know, a great partnership for both of us. But the cost is different for each wine, yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense. And then, so if I pick, so you guys, if you, for example, didn't order this 3-pack, but are feeling FOMO, which you should, and want to order it after, which you will, there's a gift pack on there, the JSF gift set, which includes these 3. But if for some reason you're like, you know, I'm more in the mood for this or this, you can totally mix it up. So that. I do love that flexibility. And I have a friend that joined. She's like, oh my God, you keep posting about these makers. It sounds great. I'm going to join. I'm like, yes. And you know, she's told me she's tried like different stuff every time, which is really cool.
And I would definitely jump on the JSF gift pack because typically we don't sell the Cabernet outside of the can club because it's super, super limited. Less than 4,000 cans were made. And so we were offering that just, you know, for a limited time for you, but otherwise you have to be in the can club to get it.
Ooh, and speaking of being in the in the Cool Kids Club, so if you guys are curious about Sutro wines, I actually just wrote a blog post about the winery, which is up in Alexander Valley. It's literally on Chalk Hill. Like Alice pointed to me and was like, that's where Chalk Hill was founded. And it's like a tree on her land. So you guys take a peek at that. You know, you have a lot of homework to do. You're going to read the maker interview. You're going to read about Handley. You're going to read about Sutro. And I'm going to have to go check out Sarah one of these days and add them to the blog too.
They're also an incredible winery to visit, like a winery tasting room right in Aptos. So you can walk right in and walk to other wineries nearby, and really, really special single vineyard, single varietal wines that we'll get into in a bit.
Good. And it's a female winemaker, which love to support.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be sexist, guys. There's a lot of male winemakers I like as well. But I just feel like, you know, as a woman, it's nice to help shine on other women.
Totally.
Okay. Well, anything else we want to share for this Pinot Gris?
For those of you who maybe first either learned about Handley through the Pinot Noir collaboration we did or are waiting for that wine to come back, you won't have to wait too much longer. We are really excited to be back up in Handley in just a month, canning the 2019 Pinot Noir. So that will be coming to you shortly thereafter. But otherwise, the Pinot Gris is
the Pinot Noir sold out in record time last year, and so people have been waiting to bring it back, and we're excited, you know, even just to go visit Anderson Valley again. We, you know, get to stay there up at Handley, and it's just the most beautiful place.
Oh, I love those guest cottages.
Yeah, go visit them. Tell Lulu, Randy, Golden, the entire team we say hello.
They may have a Pinot Gris can in the back, so.
Yeah.
And if you do visit, last time I was there, I'd never actually done this. They were like, oh, the vineyards are beautiful. If you want to go take a stroll. And I'm like, of course I want to take a stroll. And there was like all these yellow flowers. And I mean, of all the times I've been there, I never knew I could do that. Or, you know, I was always inside just drinking and hanging out. So make sure to save a little time to stroll the vineyards and get some beautiful photos, of course.
Definitely.
Okay, great. Well, we shall be moving on to the Rosé of Grenache. I can be Vanna White if you want to talk about the can. Kendra?
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Do you want to do it? Or?
Sure, I can do it. So I can't do as good a job as Kendra. She's our Vanna White, but you'll see it's like a pink seascape here with the rising or falling sun. And what makes Nicole Walsh at Sarah really special, she really loves highlighting individual varietals,
I'm going to take a break.
wines that really represent a time and place. And really what connects the wines that where she sources grapes is they have a coastal influence. So if you go into her tasting room in Aptos, you're going to see this big map with little dots from the vineyard where she sources fruit. And you can tell what they have in common is they're all incredibly close to the coast. So she's really showing what this amazing rugged coastal terrain can do. And this is her beautiful Rosé of Grenache from Monterey. It's single vineyard from Loma del Rio Vineyard. And it's just, she called it what pink might taste like. And I think that's a really kind of cool description. It's like light, melon, strawberry, just like beautifully creamy and delicious. And it's, it's my rosé spirit animal.
It's really good. And I remember when we were deciding what to do for these, and once again, I was like, Pinot. And you're like, we have this new rosé you have to try. You're going to love it. And they sent me a sample and I was like, yes, sold. We have to do that. So yeah. And the color, I mean, rosé colors, by the way, National Rosé Day is June 12th. I don't know if you guys are celebrating. I'm actually having a National Rosé Day party.
Amazing.
So I better save a few cans of these because I'm literally going to have like every rosé sample I've gotten in the past year to enjoy and share with friends. And I think this color, I mean, you're right. It's like a peach color, but then it's also like a baby pink. It's sort of like the best of everything. It's so versatile. It matches your shirt too, Sarah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that actually.
It does. Yeah.
Well, shall we sip it?
For me, I get a lot of like guava and watermelon.
Strawberry.
Yeah, floral. It's definitely like the nose is different than the taste, which I always find so fun. So you're like smelling something and then you taste it. You're like, oh, it's a little like brighter and it's got a little bit of like an acidic punch, but probably like would be really good with like a cheese plate. And I don't know. I think you can pair rosé with anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And M in the kitchen said it reminds him or her of the blush color glasses from Estelle Color Glassware. Absolutely. It is like that like gorgeous kind of translucent crystal pink. It is such a fun color.
Apparently, I don't know what Estelle Glassware is. I got to get on the bandwagon.
Yeah, totally.
I wanted to mention one other thing before we come back to the wine, just about Nicole. And the coastal influence. So Nicole is also a surfer, and I kind of describe her as like this trifecta of, the mom and winemaker I would someday dream about being. And so, yeah, to give you a sense, and like Nicole's day, on a given day, she might be up at the crack of dawn, hitting the waves, surfing. She does it several times a week down in Santa Cruz, is at her winery, almost on a daily basis, in the tasting room, meeting customers, connecting with all of you. And then she has two boys, 15 and 19, that she's really proud of, like loves her family, and they all live on the coast and are big surfers as well. So, and not just the coastal influence in Nicole's winemaking style, but also just who she is as a person.
She sounds very rad, and I don't think I can say that word a lot, but it feels very appropriate for this surfer babe.
Definitely.
She definitely.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, so just to sort of, this is interesting. So that and like the Handley sort of like have a similar vibe, the artwork.
Yeah, definitely. And they're almost like brands within a brand. When we work with a winemaker to create a design that reflects their story, if we do a second wine with that winemaker, we'll do the same design in a different color palette. So it's really just reflecting their brand in a new fun way.
Yeah. And I know you guys like, can you sort of share, like, you were telling me something, how like some of your wine club members like are tasting different wines. Like, I feel like you're really interactive with your wine club members. Like, what are some of the perks for people if they join? Like, what's in it for them?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first we use text a lot. So when you sign up, you can text us to have you help you pick wines.
You text Sarah directly on the wine line.
Yeah, we call it the wine line, and we communicate a lot with our can club members that way. They also often help us pick new wines. So the Rosé of Grenache, for example, obviously there are so many rosés, and we collected a bunch of different rosé samples and had some of our very best can club members taste them blind and give us feedback. And we also have an amazing industry panel. I know you're a part of that. And we have amazing, wine industry folks with palates that are amazing that we trust also try some of these samples blind. And we have a wine that both our customers are really excited about without knowing the story, and this industry panel is really excited about. And
it's jackpot.
And we think that people in the story is amazing. That's when we get really pumped about a wine, and that definitely happened with Nicole and her wine. So I
think I had my first sparkling Sauvignon Blanc from you guys. Wasn't that Chris's?
Yeah,
I mean, Chris was the first in.
Who, by the way, owes me an interview. I just remembered. Chris, where's that interview? I just forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to come back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so Chris was the first winemaker in the United States to do sparkling Sauvignon Blanc, more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we're really excited to feature that wine in, the maker can. So that was probably where you first found it, Emily.
It absolutely was. Yeah, I'd never had it. And I remember that fact. And I was like, holy cow, he sounds pretty awesome. I mean, he is awesome. He was on the V-Day Zoom, wasn't he?
Talk about rad people. Like, Chris Christensen is super cool.
Yeah. Oh my God. I just got to give a shout out to Vino for Breakfast. She's a fabulous blogger pal of mine. And we sent her some wine to taste along with us. And she's like tuning in from the airport. I'm so sorry. You probably didn't get to sneak the wines through, not customs, security, but.
So gotta check it.
Hey, Hannah, and thanks for all your support. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, talk about dedication when you're tuning in at the airport and you don't have the wines in front of you to drink. That's a little torturous too.
Totally, especially because Maker would be perfect on a plane.
That's a collaboration idea. I don't know if you guys have pitched any airlines.
Yeah, let's get on that.
Yeah, we definitely should.
Yeah. Cool. Well, the rosé is just stunning. It's just as beautiful to taste as the color makes it out to be. Shall we move on to the Cabernet?
Yes, let's do it. This is the third wine that we have for all of you this evening. And this is from the fabulous Sutro. If you haven't checked out her story already, you can find it more on JetSetter Emily's blog, on her Instagram. This is actually the second rendition of the Maker and Sutro Cabernet. And this is a single vineyard, Alexander Valley Cabernet Sauvignon, direct from Alice's vineyard at Warneke Ranch.
Yeah, and I think this was a really special collab, not only because of the amazing fruit and the amazing wine, but you can see the label there. It's like a hand drawing. And Alice is a studio artist. She started out in art and moved to wine. And so she actually drew the label for this collab, which is
cool.
Pretty neat. So not only did she create the art inside the can, she created the art outside the can.
I don't know if you guys have been up to Healdsburg recently, but she also did a beautiful sketch outside the shed. Like on the glass windows.
Yeah, and human-based portrait design, candid, people in their elements, very much Alice's style. And I kind of like to think of this as like as her hand as an artist, drawing these lines and all the other amazing art she does.
Yeah. And she was one of the first people we met when we were in school. We interviewed her as like research into the wine industry, and we were connected to her through.
Really?
Yeah, and she was incredibly helpful and amazing. And we never actually considered, working with her for Maker in the beginning because she had this, cult Alexander Valley, high price point Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon, and that's not the first thing that you think of.
And Sauv Blanc for summer.
And Sauv Blanc, exactly. And after our first few collaborations, we were visiting her and kind of dreaming about the future, and she just said, let's try and put the most premium red wine ever to be sent in a can. And this was this crazy experiment for us to see would this work and would people be into it. And our Can Club members went crazy. It also sold out last year. And it's definitely the wine that surprises people the most. We do a lot of these tastings, and you can see people's face when they first the
you're
wine.
like, are you sure this came out of a can? That was exactly my reaction.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, go ahead.
This is the only canned Cabernet I've ever had. I don't know if there's a lot of people out there doing it. As far as I know, I don't think there are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen, a lot of like sparkling and Pinot Noir. I just had a beautiful head high canned Pinot Noir this week, which was great. But I think Cabernet, just the complexity of the grape and how it ages, is probably a way more challenging beast to can and get it right. And you guys, it was just a slam dunk.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And also just on the note of the wine quality, this is actually the highest rated red wine in a can in the world. It received 95 points at the New York International Wine Competition last year. The last vintage of the Maker Sutro Cabernet did. So not just us that love this wine, but the critics.
I might need to become a judge of that. That sounds like a lot of fun, judging canned wines.
No, yeah, this is the bottled wine competition.
Awesome. Oh, bottled.
Yeah.
So the Sutro bottle.
No, the Sutro can in a bottled wine competition. So we enter our cans in a lot of top bottle, like top bottle competitions, and they do taste those blind because they go into glassware. So we have a lot of judges that reach out.
But
to
it's
us.
this.
Yeah,
this is what you submit. So
yeah.
I'm getting confused when you say cans in a bottle. So you're just doing a can tasting.
The competition is for bottles and cans, or for any format.
Oh, so you outperform Cabernet in a glass bottle.
Yes, exactly.
Holy shit. That deserves a swear word. Muffle your ears, kiddos. That's amazing. I thought it was just a canned competition.
No, these are, you know, the preeminent competitions for all wines, not just a particular format.
Wow.
And then the Viognier, and Matt Hughes is here, took 96 points at the Press Democrat North Coast Wine Challenge. Again, that was, you know, for white wines. And so these are really stellar quality wines. And props to our producer partners, to the amazing winemakers, the team at Campo Vita, Alice Sutro, the team at Medlock Ames, where she makes her wines. You know, all of it comes together. And we just honestly like have the honor of being able to shepherd their wines and their stories in the can.
Oh my God, I love it. That's really exciting. Bravo, ladies and winemakers and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's fun because people definitely have the bias against canned wine of being lower quality. And I think the reason that is that, you know, historically lower quality wines have been put in cans. So it's really fun to just surprise people, especially when you get really established wine critics and judges that find out the wine they scored gold or double gold is from a can. And it, you know, it's definitely a great way to give some objective data to this.
It's actually, it sort of reminds me of the judgment of Paris when California wines beat French wines. Canned wines can beat bottle wines. We need to come up with a name for that big winning award. We'll call it the Judgment of Healdsburg or something. Because it was the Healdsburg wine, right? It was Alice's wine.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm just making that a thing, the Judgment of Healdsburg. So speaking of canned wines, the quality, how long can people age these? Let's say, you know, they come and I've got so much wine I forget to drink it for 6 months. Am I okay? Like, what's the time frame?
Yeah, so we recommend that you drink the wines within 18 to 24 months after they're canned. When we're selling them, I mean, all of these wines are pretty much, you know, weeks to a couple of months old. But really, like you said earlier, the wine is not meant to be cellared. It's for the here and now. So you can, you know, always, if you like it, you can stock up on more, but it's not wine that you should be holding on to for years and years. In the case of a fine wine that, you know, can handle some maturity and is best with age, like the Sutro Cabernet, we actually work with the winemaker to help age that wine before it goes into the can. And it's kind of, you know, frozen in time and consumed from there.
So unlike, sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
We you know, we can the wine when it's ready to drink.
Okay. So unlike, you know, all of us people, you know, we've got our wine club and they're like, oh, cellar that for 2 years or whatever. The moment they get it, it's ready and it's got up to 2 years. So I'm probably going to have to stockpile the next batch of Sutro Cab and Handley Pinot, because if you sell out really quickly, I need like a 12-month supply. So when I'm traveling and I'm doing my glamping or whatever, I mean, I take it to hotels with me. It's like, first of all, I hate traveling without wine. And why would I buy wine when I have like all this wine at home to share? And I just like to bring my favorites with me.
And I don't know if you guys saw. The can is smaller, but the can actually weighs less than the glass, right? So the same 3 cans of wine is equal to about half the weight of the glass bottle. So if you're trying to, you know, lighter in your suitcase, save on those pounds. The cans are good.
I was just in Fort Bragg at the Inn at Newport Ranch. I don't know if you guys have seen that place. It is a slice of heaven. And I literally brought your canned wine with me. And there's like a picture on Instagram this week or something. It's just, it's so great. And I like the diversity because you're not always in the mood for a whole bottle of something. So this way I can be like, I'll start with a glass of the white or a can and then have a can of the rosé and just, you know, try a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like 3 bottles in one. I was calling it the poor man's Corvin before, but
I mean, there's something to that. Yeah. Great. Well, let's talk about this Cabernet, what we're tasting, because I mean, we keep talking about how delicious and fabulous it is. And those at home that haven't bought the set yet, I want them to know what they're missing. So let's see your tasting notes. Well, actually, I can do this. So red currant, black cherry, little raspberry, definitely earth. Like leather barnyard, maybe not super barnyard, but yeah, super great.
When I drink this wine, I almost feel like you can like taste the ashiness of Chalk Hill from the volcanic soil that is so uniquely, you know, that spot in Alexander Valley. And and, you know, right where Warnicki Ranch is, it has that like really, you know, beautiful tannic backbone and like the, you know, but the nice dryness on the mouth that you want after a good cab. So
yeah. I
it
totally
makes me
agree.
ready for dinner, actually.
I know. I know. I'm actually having seafood tonight. I'm like, what should I drink in preparation for my little seafood dinner? And I love your pairings. You have roast pig, wild duck, and chocolate lava cake. Wow, that's specific.
And those are actually straight from Alice. She loves like molten lava cake with this. Also, she said like food that, you know, you can't buy in stores, like a pig roast or something that you have friends over, and it's you know, a group cooking, and it's a party, and it's just, you know, it's about the experience and having it with people that you love, and food is a big part of that.
I bet it would be really delicious with turkey too.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
If it lasts till Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure I'm going to drink all these before then.
Perfect.
Very cool. So guys, just a reminder, if you do want to grab this set, it's basically the only way that you're going to have access to the Sutro Cabernet unless you're a wine club member, or even better, join the wine club. And how many shipments is it? How does that work, ladies?
So it's 12 cans every 12 weeks. So it's quarterly, and you get your first shipment right away. And we have a lot of fun surprises. So gifts that come with the wines, virtual events just with our winemakers.
We'll do holiday recipe cards, you know, any kind of little fun add-on that we
Are you going to do another baking class? Because that was really fun.
Ooh, should we bring that back? Maybe we'll do a poll and take votes. We definitely have some more partnerships and fun events coming up, so stay tuned.
Yeah. No, those cookies, I mean, we had like 2 batches, and like the first batch we took out in time, and the other I waited 1 minute, and it was just like, I was like, darn it, I didn't burn them, but they weren't as doughy as I like. So I need to do
cookies are cookie dough. It was just like the cookies are the cookie dough. It was all so delicious.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Cookies by Catrice, a local Bay Area based baker who will ship cookies directly to you and do custom orders if you guys are.
And one little secret about that recipe, I've never made chocolate chip cookies where you brown the butter. That was so cool. Yeah. Yeah. So that was a super fun event. She was adorable. The cookies were delicious. And we did that with one of the rosés and then the sparkling Sauv Blanc, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Why do I remember the exact wines?
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Good. Well, you guys, any of our viewers at home have questions? We've gotten a lot of good engagement. I really like Matt Hughes. He's like the funniest, most engaged person. Love you, buddy. And we haven't even met.
You guys need to, connect IRL. He's great.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, he wants to join the cookie thing too. Well, you can join it, Matt, and then we'll meet. Yeah. So anything, like any in real life events happening, like now that the world's reopening, will there be any shifts in what you guys are doing? Any surprises to share?
Yeah, I mean, IRL events are just starting to come back. So a couple of the partnerships that we have coming up, one is actually with an awesome company or organization called For the Ladies. And it's a nonprofit that does golf clinics for women all over the country. And
sign me up.
They're doing one on Memorial Day weekend at TPC Harding Park. They're doing one in San Diego in June, Portland in September. And it's an hour and a half of golf instruction, practice, clinic, followed up by happy hour, wine tasting, and networking. So that's
okay. I'm in Florida, but I need to do this. I'm in Florida, so I can't go Memorial Day weekend. I will circle back with you guys. This sounds amazing.
They have Florida clinics too, and Abby, the founder, is incredible. She's solo out there making it happen herself. So we're big fans of them.
And big news, we just started shipping to Florida. So that's another.
I saw that on Instagram this week. Oh yeah, guys, if you're not following Maker Wines on Instagram, follow them. And if you're not following me and you like wine, follow me. We're, 2 peas in a pod. And Matt reminded me, we did meet at Campofino. Right. I know his girlfriend. She's adorable. Got it. Such a small town, this little Healdsburg running into winemakers. It happens a lot. Okay, we have a good question. Shelly wants to know what made Maker decide to go with cans over bottles?
Yeah, good question. Interestingly, I first came to craft food and bev through craft beer. And I remember seeing the Can Van, a mobile canning company at breweries, helping them can their product. When we started talking about this company, I thought that that would be a really amazing thing for wine. And some of the things that Kendra already mentioned, they're lighter. So if we want to do a direct consumer business, you can ship those wines more efficiently. They're eco-friendly, they're single serving, they're fun and approachable, and you just have more of this amazing, canvas to actually tell a story.
And the sustainability aspects, from the aluminum to a lower carbon footprint to, being able to have the single serving and not waste the rest of the bottle.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the opportunity to give back and create, a better supply chain.
So is this equivalent to like 1 1/3 glasses?
It's 1.7 glasses or
Ooh.
a third of a bottle. So we like to say, it's like the glass that you would pour yourself.
Oh my God. It's funny. Actually, the other night, I feel like I some nights I don't drink, so I just like need to give my body a break. And then at like 8:30 or 9, I caved and I opened one of these and it's like, oh, I'm just having like a small can, it's 1.7 glasses, but that's the perfect amount.
Not to open wine with a can.
Yeah. I had another question for you. Maybe this is personal, but as a small business owner and entrepreneur, I'm a little curious, like, do you guys have investors? How did you fund this business launch?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say we're a super small team. We're just 5 women now here in Novato, but we were pretty scrappy. Like we brought our first 3 cans to market really just with our personal savings. We do now have investors, but they're all individual people, small investors that believe in the concept, believe in what we're doing, and we're really just getting started.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Now, are your investors both men and women?
Yes, of course. And people who drink wine and don't drink wine, but I think, generally really care about supporting small producers and, the storytelling, maker aspect of what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to explain to someone, like, they didn't really understand the concept. And I was like, what differentiates maker wine is the fact that you guys are highlighting all these other people. Like, I don't know of another canned wine brand that's doing it. And I think it's a genius idea. It's like, you guys, you don't own vineyards, you don't own grapes, you don't want to make wine. I mean, you do make wine, but like, they really make it for you and you market it and you tell the story.
It's so fun. We get to let amazing winemakers do what they do best, which is make phenomenal juices and tell amazing stories, like be really, really great humans. So you are spot on there.
And we could never take credit for this amazing wine that someone else is making. And I think with any product that you have, whether it's in a can or a bottle or anywhere else, you should know exactly who made it, exactly where it comes from. And if the company's not telling you that, then that's a problem.
Yeah. So speaking of making, God, who is Shelly? Love her. She wants to know, is it more difficult to make the wine to get the right flavors in a can versus a bottle? I would say yes, but you guys speak to this.
Yeah, I mean, we don't change anything materially from how our winemakers are doing their wines. And in fact, these are the exact same wines that they're doing in bottles. Oftentimes they're their flagship or estate grapes. And so, there's not any meaningful differences between the bottled wine and the canned wine. I do think that we think about, certain things like you might be more likely to put a can into an ice chest and chill it all the way down. So we want to make sure that the wines perform across a variety of temperatures and hold it chill, maybe even a little bit of a red wine chill. So those are some of the how people enjoy.
I took this out of the fridge when we started. For some reason, I love to chill your canned wines. I don't know. Reds, I chill.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So another question. What about the sulfites? So are you guys, obviously anyone that knows about winemaking production, sulfites are used to sort of say, all right, it tastes like this today. We want it to taste similarly to this in 3 years when it ages. And then obviously the aging effects will change things a little bit. Yeah. Do you guys use sulfites?
So interestingly, in the can, it's the anaerobic environment, there's a lower sulfur dioxide threshold. So, we still leave the winemaking up to the winemakers, but actually less is needed for this format.
If there's one difference, it's that we actually use less sulfur, less free sulfites than the bottle equivalent. So
interesting.
That's a benefit to the cans. Yeah.
Wow.
And we're not trying to preserve it for as long of a time, right?
Right. You're drink it in a year or two. It's not going to change that much. So does the wine age in bottle or in can? I'm sorry.
I mean, like Sarah said, it's anaerobic, so it's entirely sealed. Unlike a natural cork or even a screw cap that has a little bit of oxygen transfer get through, our cans are completely sealed. So,
Yeah.
you know, in theory, it doesn't change that much, but wine is a living, breathing organism, and so, you know, we see that our wines, you know, change a little bit over time. We're always opening up a can at least once a month or
Quality control. Gotta do it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But so, you know, like any wine in any format, you know, it evolves slightly over time, but it's not aging like it would in a bottle.
Good answer. I'm really impressed with your anaerobic explanation. That's one of my WSET test questions.
Learned over the past year.
Can you tell Sarah's the daughter of scientists?
Oh, well, no, you guys are, I mean, for not being in wine, I mean, I feel like we met and then we like had coffee, and we've done that a few times. And I think you guys have really done your homework, and you guys are very well prepared, and you guys are learning everything you need to learn. I'm very impressed.
Thank you. Well, I mean, we like to say we have the palate of our customers. We've definitely learned a lot over the past 2 years, but we want to make sure that how we write about wine, how we talk about wine is always super approachable. So we actually edit our writing to make sure that, you know, we haven't learned too much over the past year to not be able to talk about wine in a way that we would have found approachable a year ago.
Yeah.
So we're always learning, as are we all. I mean, there's endless amounts to learn.
That's my favorite hashtag, always be learning.
Yeah.
I heard you're doing the next step in your WSET journey. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm regretting publicly announcing it because it's only a 50% pass rate. So we'll see. I take the test next weekend, but I mean, regardless, I'm learning so much information, and I think it's the hardest thing I've ever done. It was much harder than my MBA.
Regardless of the test results, I think like we're all stewards and students of, you know, this craft, and so constantly learning, putting yourself out there. I applaud you.
No, it's been fun. It was a great idea when we were in lockdown during shelter in place, and then as the world reopened, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go away for the weekend. Oh, I'm gonna move to Healdsburg. It becomes less and less. You want to be stuck at home.
Absolutely.
But it's okay, you know, it's cool. I'm learning a lot of great stuff, and I actually have a study group after this in about 10 minutes with a friend that I met through Instagram. You know, we follow each other, and we follow each other's studies. So, you know, who doesn't want to have a Thursday night study group?
Well, it shows you're nailing the tasting notes. So.
So wait, we have a couple more questions. I hope you guys are okay in time. We got a viewer from Canada. Do you guys ship to Canada?
We do not ship to Canada yet.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, we're in the process of expanding across the United States, and
Perfect.
Canada has quite strict regulations. So hopefully next year we'll be able to start shipping internationally.
Oh, very cool.
DM us and we'll help
What,
you out.
Sarah?
I said if you visit the US, DM us and we'll help you out.
Okay, great. And there was one more question I don't want to miss. Is the wine in the can? Oh, good question, Shelly. Shelly, you get the award for the best questions today. Is the wine in the cans affected by the temperature?
Yeah, so great question. This is, I mean, the wine inside of a can is exactly like a wine inside of any other format. So you don't want to go to either extreme, you know, temperature-wise, in particular, too hot or warm, because the wine will start to cook. So just as in a bottle, a box, or a you know, barrel, our wines are best in the you know, mainstream temperature range.
Do not leave in your trunk.
So speaking of boxes, I left this out because I don't know what it is about your box, but I think it's the cutest. So I wanted to show it. So it came with like one of those cute little stickers, like the little polka dot tape, and then you open it, wine sealed and delivered, voila. And then at the top are all those cute postcards. And then you got your 2 6-packs. So I don't know who invented your packaging, but I think it's great.
Kendra and I, we actually almost spent as much time figuring out how to make a box as we did sourcing. So,
like I like keep them in my garage, and then finding it like last week, I was like, no, I need to recycle these. Why am I keeping these cute boxes? What am I going to do with this?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well, you know, I get a lot of wine shipments, so the ones that sort of stand out and have a little bit more flair, and the handwritten notes and the postcards and the collateral that I love, it just like makes it, you know, it's that much more memorable and enjoyable.
It's the little touches, you know.
It is the little touches. Yes. Well, gals, I think we've answered all the questions unless we have any more. Oh God, Shelly, you are such a good student. Can the wine oxidize if left in the can opened?
So yeah, like Kendra said, I mean, just like wine in a bottle, if you open it, it'll start to get exposed to oxygen. We have not had a lot of issues with people not being able to finish the cans that they open.
Yeah.
But if you open multiple cans and you do want to save it, our little trick is you put little saran wrap over it and a rubber band and keep it for a day. But
okay. I was gonna say, like, is there like a way to like Coravin it? But that seems silly. I mean,
yeah, just put it in the fridge. Put a piece of saran wrap over the top. The white wine will actually keep for about 2 days, and
okay.
it's nice. The red wine drink within 24 hours.
So I have all these little glass vials that I've been using for my tasting. So anytime I open a wine, I then put it in a glass vial and seal it. So if you want to be really geeky, guys, take the saran wrap to the next level and buy glass vials on Amazon. But that's probably only an industry thing.
Emily.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, reminder, if you guys want to pick up this set, it's on their shop. It's called the JetSetting Fashionista set, or JSF. And it's basically the only way that you are going to have access to this exclusive Sutro Cabernet Sauvignon unless you join the wine club, which is another great option. And don't forget to check out the blog, the JetSetting Fashionista, to read my interview with these fabulous ladies. Sarah, I actually have to give you a thank you. Your favorite restaurant in Sausalito, we ordered pizza from it, and now I'm like hooked on it.
Oh, amazing. That's great.
That was in the interview. What's it called again?
It's Sandrino. I think that was actually my.
Oh, was that you, Kendra?
Yeah, no,
oh, sorry.
No,
You're the one in Sausalito.
They're the best. It's this like adorable little local pizzeria on a back alley in Sausalito.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're from Veneto. The pizza, the wine list is to die for.
Yep. Nope. Carried out pizza and salad a couple months ago per your recommendation. I was like, great. We just found a little Sausalito gem. Thanks to the interview.
Love it.
So yeah, and then this will be on my IG
The vlog is
channel.
full of so many gems, Emily. Like every time I'm like, oh, I want to go here, or plan a wine trip here, or bring my friends, to a new area. Like, thank you for all of the amazing, guides.
When we went to Anderson Valley and Paso Robles for the first time, we definitely used your blog as a cheat sheet. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm happy. I love it when people actually look at it. And I've had it for 11 years. So it's like 11 years of content. It's sort of like a journal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your beautiful wines, your beautiful packaging, and your time with me tonight, and your story. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it as much as we did.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. And just to everyone that is listening or watching, feel free to message us on Maker Wine. If you message us, it'll be one of us. If you email us, it'll be one of us. Like, we're a small company, and we get really excited to hear from people that are excited about what we're doing.
Thank you all, and thanks again, Emily. This was so much fun.
Of course. Can't wait to do it again for the cookies. Me. Cheers. Yeah. I don't know what she cheers with. They're so pretty. Boom. All right. Oh, can we take a photo together, guys, for like a header image? Okay, so smile. One more. Hold on. This is always awkward. Sometimes I disconnect it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, that's a wrap. I'll see you guys soon, hopefully.
Have a great rest of your evening. Talk to you soon,
You
Emily.
too. Bonsoir.